All the way from sunny SoCal into 32 million homes and counting more, this is America Trends. I'm Barry Nussbaum filling in tonight for Dr. Gina. Our poll question today, Bernie just quit the Democratic Party. Are you surprised? Yes or no? Vote in that poll at YouTooAmerica.com or use the Youtoo America app available now for Apple and Android devices. Download it now if you don't have it already. Okay, the Clinton Foundation is now being investigated by the IRS. What does that mean for Hillary Clinton's campaign going forward? Joining us from Atlanta is Bryan Crabtree. Bryan is contributor to Town Hall and a radio host at Atlanta Biz 1190. Bryan, good to have you back with us tonight.
It's good to be here. Thank you for having me.
You're looking good again, my friend. So let's talk about it. The Clinton Foundation is under investigation now by the IRS. Allegations of pay to play. I've been talking about this for 6 months. Is it going to mean something? Is there going to be traction here?
I always am a little suspicious as to what happens with Hillary Clinton and Bill Clinton and all their antics. They're very good at covering up. I said today on my radio show, I said Hillary Clinton is the type of leader that learns from her mistakes. She learns when she makes the mistake of getting caught in her crimes to not make that mistake again. So I don't know. We always have enough circumstantial evidence to prove she does these things, or in this case, the Clinton Foundation, but we never can actually find the smoking gun. So I'm not very optimistic this is going to turn up anything, because I think Bill and Hillary and their people anticipate these kind of investigations and cover their tracks internally all too well.
Well, there's a couple of new items on this one, Bryan. Number one, and I know you don't know the answer, but I'm just going to mention it. Julian Assange said yesterday there's huge new information that WikiLeaks is going to come out with on the foundation that he says could very well lead to an indictment of Hillary Clinton post-nomination from the Democratic Party. Any thoughts on that? If not, we can go on to more factual stuff.
Well, I've got some conjecture on it, which is probably fact in reality once all the details come out, if they ever do. I think the October surprise this year will be emails. And lo and behold, I think it probably, this isn't wishful thinking, I think it probably will be Julian Assange, WikiLeaks, and it'll be Hillary Clinton's lost 30,000 yoga emails from her personal trove that she deleted. You know, I said this today. You know, she's a lawyer. If you're a lawyer and you want to look honest to a judge or a jury, the one thing you want to do is include all this stuff for everyone to investigate and roll through. 30,000 emails, right? You want to include all that in the discovery and let them see your personal information. You'll just file a motion in the court to try to stop the judge and the courtroom from releasing this stuff so it doesn't become public. But she didn't do that. She deleted them. So we know in those emails there's something way beyond personal material in them. Otherwise, she would have just kept them and said, look, there's nothing here. So I think someone has those emails. The media and the left is just hysterical that Donald Trump called for Putin and Russia or whomever to reveal those emails. Frankly, I want whoever has them to unload them, because it's about time this country starts to hold accountable the crooked leaders that keep destroying our society. And I have no doubt that's Hillary Clinton. I just don't have confidence in that aspect of our justice system to bring her to justice.
Well, Bryan, if you've seen the documentary that's out now, and everyone should actually spend an hour looking at it, called Clinton Cash, you see area after area after area around the world where the Clinton Foundation scooped up money, and Secretary of State Hillary Clinton showed up, and it was pay-for-play cronyism at its finest, with hundreds of millions of dollars changing hands in exchange for influence, contracts, and money on the back end. I mean, it's such a big story. How it's not front pages every day, honest to gosh, I just don't know.
Well, it's an inept media by and large, but there's one deal that we know of. I think it was $32 million in sum total that this one guy from Canada who has uranium interest in Russia, of all places, and she gave them State Department approval after a multi-million-dollar donation for them to acquire the uranium. That's just one deal. There are literally dozens of these deals. I think it was the Congo, one of the poorest nations on earth, was in some sort of negotiation with the Clinton State Department and in the Obama administration, and Bill Clinton is offered a $600,000 speech, one of the poorest nations on earth. That never went forward because even internally at the State Department it's questioned. But the question is really how many of those actually did get paid. It's in the tens of millions, if not hundreds of millions of dollars. So if the IRS were to investigate this fully and get to the bottom of it and determine that these donations were in fact salaries being paid to the nonprofit organization for favors from the State Department and a way to avoid taxation, it could be a big-time problem for Bill and Hillary Clinton, especially given the role Hillary played when many of these were taken. The problem here, in my opinion, is that they are going to be very, very careful, I'm sure, even with the email scandal and the email server, in having any paper trail available on what negotiations or conversations were occurring. And if they were occurring, my belief it was some underling, like her assistant Huma Abedin, or someone like that. And it's not going to be easy for the FBI or the IRS to get to the bottom of that. That's how clever the Clinton crookedness is.
Well, now you've got Congress involved. What is it? Marsha Blackburn from Tennessee in the Congress is pushing as well. The part I don't get, Bryan, is that, like you said, the press doesn't seem to care. Between now and November, are Americans going to care as more of this becomes at least more common knowledge?
Well, I had a conversation with Darrell Issa, who's on the Judicial Committee in Congress. He's a congressman from California, as you know, and we had both an on and off-air conversation at the Republican National Convention in my media booth. And he says he believes the best way to go forward, at least at this point, is to let the American people indict Hillary Clinton. And that's pretty smart politically, because if the Republicans forge the attack on Hillary, it's going to be seen as politics as usual, taking the low road. I'm getting those comments just in discussing it in Atlanta radio, where people are saying, I'm taking the low road, we're going to take the high road. Another example of what's happening in the distortion of this, both within the media and the political process, we saw just in the last 24 hours when Rob Reiner on MSNBC basically asserted that Trump is working side by side with Putin, and he compared it to Watergate, only worse, and that this was, in essence, a form of treason by Donald Trump to get engaged in this email scandal with Hillary Clinton. The real treason is Hillary Clinton, but now the Democrats are trying to conflate that over onto Donald Trump because he called for Russia or whatever regime had those emails or has possession of those emails to release them, and the media would reward them. So the media is part of the machine of the Democrats that's trying to distort and turn this around. We're the party of love, the Democrats, and we're on the high road. And, of course, the Republicans are the party of hate. That's the narrative they're trying to push. I don't think the American people are going to fall for it this year.
Bryan, we're going to have to leave it there. Couldn't agree with you more. We're going to come up with more America Trends right after this. We want to hear from you. Go to youtooamerica.com and join in the discussion. Please go vote in our poll. We'll be right back.